Hi, everyone. I'm Ryan Christopher, and thank you for joining me for another Monday webinar education series. Today, we're talking about the topic, understanding single ingredient skincare. I wanted to post this topic specifically because I've seen a lot of estheticians post on social media their viewpoints around single ingredient skincare brands and why their brands that they've chosen to carry in their spa are more competitive. Unfortunately, the reasoning that I saw around why the estheticians were positioning their products as superior to other products found in the single ingredient skincare space were just not really true. They were more like marketing myths or marketing reasons as to why you would choose the brand that they chose to carry over one of the single ingredient brands like The Ordinary, for example. And The Ordinary is the primary brand that I'm going to focus on in today's quick 30-minute or less lesson. So let's get started. So what exactly is it? What is single ingredient skincare? So in my opinion, what started as a brand called the Deciem founded by Brandon Truex, who is from Toronto, his company that he started back prior to 2016 was based on an effort to create a brand that was truly focused on transparency in the industry. And when I say transparency in the industry, I mean mainly focused around pricing. When he looked at what was available out in the market space, he saw a lot of brands creating really fancy products using a wide array of active ingredients, but not really being transparent about the percentage of those active ingredients. They're also using a variety of packaging, fancy, fun packaging, but a lot of times that packaging can come with a much higher cost that gets passed along to the customer. So are you truly using an effective formula, or are you just using something that's made to be fancy and made to be easily marketed? So this was Brandon's mission when starting the Deciem family of brands, and within that, one of the most popular brands, The Ordinary. So here's the real question though, are these formulas any more effective? And here's my question, is it ethical to market them as any more safe than what you would find out into the market space? I've looked over many articles on many different platforms, whether it be Elle or Vogue, or even some of our more professionally driven magazine issues like American Spa, for example. All of these different companies tend to touch on, or the journalists tend to touch on different aspects or marketing aspects of why these brands exist and whether they are more effective than others. But I like to just focus on the bottom line science of it. What is the absolute truth when it comes to why these brands now exist in the marketplace? And more importantly, why are consumers so interested in them? Now, of course, I start every little 30-minute lesson with a brief little tidbit about myself, but you can go back to some of my future YouTube videos to see the lesson where I provided some previous history on my career. Yes, I have been in the industry for close to 20 years now, working not only in skincare application and massage therapy, but also working by representing brands as an education director. And I have worked alongside many chemists to help create future formulas that are now being used in the spa space. My goal is to continue to pump out these free little 30-minute snippets of education on a weekly basis to help give estheticians out there, whether you're new or established in the industry for quite some time. I want to give you the opportunity to learn some little tidbits from my many years of experience in this business. And yes, as I've said here on the slide, you can email me directly at info@beautybyryan.com to send me tips or send me more topics that you want to hear me talk about. I have a wide array of experience that I'm looking forward to sharing with you every week through these quick 30-minute or less informational webinars. Let's get back to our topic. As I was saying before, The Ordinary as a brand was released in 2016 under the umbrella of the company called Deciem. Deciem was a disruptive beauty company founded by Brandon Truex in Toronto, Canada. Now, unfortunately, Brandon was dealing with some mental health issues and is no longer living, but his company is owned by Estee Lauder companies and is still thriving to this day. In the beginning, his mission was focused on being able to peel back the facade of expensive skincare and offer a direct approach to the consumer centered around one specific active ingredient. This type of formula would allow the brand to pass on savings to the customer and offer them something of equal quality at a much better price. Now, again, that was the marketing position, but was there truly a difference in his formulas from other products that you were going to find in the market space? From a manufacturing perspective, not really. Let's talk about that a little bit. Here's the absolute truth when it comes to cosmetic manufacturing. Any products, regardless of the style of formula, or regardless how many active ingredients you're using within the formula, or regardless of percentage of those active ingredients, when a formula is scaled for large production, the cost of each individual skincare product is going to decrease dramatically. This means that most mass market skincare brands, and even some of our more popular professional brands in the market space, are producing bottles in the hundreds of thousands, which could bring the total cost of one product down to less than $1 to produce. That's right. When you're producing formulas that are bottled in bottles of 10,000 units or more, the formula can easily be less than $2 per unit, or down less than $1 per unit when in the hundreds of thousands. So the lesser quantity being produced, the more costly the production. And this can be seen very clearly in marketing practices for business models such as private labeling manufacturers. A lot of spa owners and small business owners are approached by private label manufacturers. These are cosmetic manufacturers that probably make skincare brands or formulas for very large skincare brands, but they also have a specific business model where they are attracting smaller business owners that want to own their own brand, but maybe can't scale up to the large volume that some of our larger competitors are actually doing. So what they do is they offer you a standardized formula, and they offer you some standard packaging that they already have in stock. And they simply offer the customization of changing out the label to apply your logo. Now, by using these cookie cutter business models, they're able to offer something at a little bit more of an expensive cost, but it means that you as a small business owner only has to purchase maybe 200 or 500 pieces of that one particular formula. It's because the manufacturing lab has not had to go through great trouble to get this product ready for you and the market. So this is why, but of course, you're going to get a much higher markup or a lesser margin and lesser markup on the product when it comes to putting it out, which means that your product, because you went through contract manufacturing, is probably not going to be as competitively priced. And is it going to be any more competitive formula-wise? Not necessarily. So it's important to know that pretty much every product out there on the market, regardless of how big or small the brand is, it's probably costing them from a manufacturing standpoint less than $2 to actually produce each individual product. Why are these products marked up so significantly? Why is a product that only costs $1.50 now being charged to the consumer $80, $90, or over $100 for that formula? It's simply to pay for the cost of the overall functioning of the company. By investing in the skincare product, you've invested into the company and all of the operations and all of the staff that goes along with getting that product to you in a quick and timely manner, and also maybe giving you something fun to play with. But again, this is why The Ordinary has become so popular, because they scaled back on price, but they also scaled back on packaging. They also scaled back on the complexity of the formula, and they scaled back on the overall consumer experience, being able to offer you this very simple formula with somewhat of what would be considered a transparent messaging. And that's the bottom line truth. The formulas aren't any more special or any more unique than what you're going to find from any other brand that might be charging a little bit more. Let's dive into some of the individual products. What is the perceived benefit for the consumer? The consumer feels like they're getting transparency by focusing on one ingredient instead of calling out the percentage that it's actually used. But as I asked before, is the formula any more beneficial than a more traditional product that uses multiple active ingredients? Not actually. And I'm here to tell you that's the absolute truth. Now, I pulled a few products from The Ordinary's website to give you a few different examples as to why these products may or may not be beneficial to our clients. And when I say our clients, I'm speaking on behalf of being an esthetician and having clients that love to shop online. They love to go to Amazon in the night after a few glasses of wine, and they love to buy things and experience new skincare. But that can tend to wreak havoc on the routine, the consistency that I'm trying to get my clients to create when it comes to their daily skincare habits. And a lot of times, adding new random formulas to your routine can be disruptive to the goal that we're trying to achieve. Let's look at The Ordinary's retinol 1% in squalane, for example. It retails for $6.70 in the US, and they market this formula as being unique because it does not contain any water. Its base of the formula is squalane, followed by what would be a traditional formulation in the capric triglycerides and the jojoba seed oil, along with then the retinol at 1%. Now, don't think too highly of the tomato fruit extract or the rosemary leaf extract. These ingredients are there really just to help coat the scent of retinol, because vitamin A in its natural form is not pleasant. It's quite disgusting, actually. So retinol at 1% in squalane. Is there a major benefit to having squalane as the base of the formula as opposed to water? Not necessarily from a skincare standpoint or the benefits of the skin standpoint, but it is beneficial from a formulation standpoint. See, for better stability, by using squalane as opposed to a water-based formula, the retinol has a better chance of staying stable for longer. So would I recommend this product to my clients as an esthetician, as opposed to purchasing a 1% retinol formula that might be in one of the brands that I carry, but that brand might charge over $50 for their 1% retinol in a similar size? I might actually recommend the retinol 1% here in The Ordinary, just so my clients can save a little money on certain ingredients that are charging a higher premium simply for the fact that they're popular. Retinol is extremely popular, especially right now. So there is a premium placed on this ingredient in most over-the-counter skincare brands. The Ordinary is cutting through that popularity and just simply offering a 1% retinol in a stabilized formulation that can work for all skin types, and at $6.70. Is there something wrong with this formula? Absolutely not. I would actually recommend it. But that's just one example. Let's look at another example where the marketing is not so straightforward, and the consumer is definitely going to need the esthetician's help to determine whether this works for them or not. This is a popular product. It's called the AHA 30% and BHA 2% peeling solution. Now, it's marketed as a 30% alpha hydroxy acid blend, which is supposed to be a blend of glycolic, lactic, tartaric, and citric acids, along with 2% of a beta hydroxy acid, which we all know is salicylic acid. This combined with other helpful supporting ingredients like hyaluronic acid, vitamin B5, black carrot, and Tasmanian pepperberry. That sounds really exciting and fun, but let's focus on the main key actives, which are going to be the exfoliating acids. Now, this product I found to be a bit misleading, and I want to show you why. When you look at the ingredient list itself, you'll see that the very first ingredient above the water of the formula is glycolic acid. Now, then when we look for the other alpha hydroxy acids, we look a little bit further down in the ingredient list, you'll actually see that the lactic acid, the tartaric acid, and the citric acid is listed after the salicylic acid. Now, that's very interesting because we know that on the label, it lists specifically called out 2% salicylic acid in the formula. But if the lactic, tartaric, and citric acid is falling after the salicylic acid on the list, that means that there is less than 2% of lactic acid, tartaric acid, and citric acid in individual percentages. But glycolic acid is the very first alpha hydroxy acid that we see at the base of the formula, the top of the list above water. That means that if this is truly a 30% alpha hydroxy acid solution, then it is primarily glycolic acid. Even if lactic acid, tartaric acid, and citric acid were utilized at 2%, that would mean that 24% of the AHA blend would have to be glycolic acid. And I doubt seriously that they're using the lactic, tartaric, and citric at 2% each underneath the salicylic acid. They're probably using it at 1% or less. So the odds of this glycolic acid being over 25%, just glycolic acid in this exfoliating serum, is quite likely. And this is another big reason why I'm not going to be recommending this formulation to my clients. There are many other more beneficial exfoliating acid formulations out there, and I typically enjoy for my clients to use an alpha hydroxy acid serum or moisturizing agent that they can use at night instead of a separate layering product that they have to time and really figure out, is it truly working for them for their own skincare at home. I like to have supportive moisturizing formulas like leave-on serums and leave-on moisturizers that include these types of alpha hydroxy acids to encourage that type of exfoliation. And then when my clients come see me for a facial, that's when I'm going to do a much deeper form of exfoliation that they don't have to try to recreate at home. And we know that a lot of people are dealing with an impaired barrier because they're simply over exfoliating and overstimulating themselves at home. So this is one product and one reasons why this type of formulation standard doesn't always work. And we always need to make sure that our clients know that they need to come to us for that training and that information. Here's one third look at a product that you should be familiar with. Now, a lot of articles online would market this particular product, this 1%, 100% ascorbic acid powder, a 20-gram jar for $5.80. A lot of people would say, and I've seen a lot of very notable chemists get on Instagram to go, this is not a product you should be using. Nobody needs 100% ascorbic acid in a powdered form. There are many other stable formulas that are being used that feature ascorbic acid, and ascorbic acid can be as effective in as little as 0.5% when used in a formulation. So a lot of people tend to market this ascorbic acid powder as too intense. They would say that by utilizing this high intensity form of ascorbic acid, that it would actually cause sensitivity to the skin. In truth, this formula can cause some flushing and some sensitivity. The skin can become reactive to this type of formulation because this is just pure 100% ascorbic acid. This is literally the same form of dried powder vitamin C that chemists would use in order to add vitamin C to their water-based formulas. So yeah, this can be a bit intense for the skin, but when used in small amounts, a little bit goes a long way, and you're getting a very good value. No one should be charging over $20 for this amount of powdered vitamin C, as it's something that can be readily ordered in huge gallon drums by cosmetic chemists and manufacturing facilities. So this is available to the public in these small amounts, and $5.80 is reasonable. Now, it's very simple to use this type of formulation, and I would recommend it to my clients if they're looking to add vitamin C. A lot of my younger clients, I actually don't recommend utilizing stronger active ingredients like retinol, for example. If you're not experiencing deep signs of aging or dealing with an acne condition or trying to lighten hyperpigmentation, there's really no reason to be using a high-strength retinol in your younger years. So if you're in your 20s or your 30s, you could get by simply adding this 100% ascorbic acid to any of your water-based serums or moisturizers. On a daily basis, this is going to help you to fight UV damage, help to reduce the depth of wrinkles over time by helping the skin to produce more collagen, and even helping to brighten that pigment that's being produced on a deeper level. So this is one of the many reasons why I like this type of formulation, because it is quite simple and it is quite competitive in price. Now let's look briefly at what are the pros and cons when looking at these types of brands. And as an esthetician that does have product to sell, how do I recommend or disinterest my clients away from certain brands like The Ordinary? Well, first of all, pricing is always going to look good when you look at The Ordinary. But after that first glance, and you really start to add up all of the different products that you would need to pull together in The Ordinary brand to make up some of the same active blends that you're already using in a professional grade line, you're just going to end up spending just as much money, and you're going to have an extensive routine because it's going to require multiple of these products in order to pull together what you are using out of just one or two serums out of a professionally created brand designed for use by estheticians. Also, it's important to remember that no one skincare ingredient helps the skin in every way possible. So if you do have specific concerns, as I said before, those products will begin to add up over time. Products that give an experience. Clients like products that give an experience. We like products that have a scent or an aroma or a color or a texture to them. And sometimes those textures can be beneficial for certain active ingredients. But when you look at The Ordinary, it's important to remember that simplified formulas are exactly that, simple. You're not going to find any fun scents or textures in this brand, just good old boring effective skincare. And that's important to remember because you'll see this even in a lot of your organic brands as well. A lot of times organic brands will start to stagnate in their product development after a number of years because they realize that while sticking to plant-based ingredient standards and formulation standards, you get to lose out on playing with fun textures like gels or creams or cloud moisturizers that give a very nice whipped texture. It's very hard to do that when maintaining more nature and plant-based ingredient standards. Here's the most important opinion that I have when it comes to consulting with your clients around skincare for their use on an everyday basis. Why should your clients trust you? Educate your clients with facts instead of fear-based marketing. And that's what a lot of these brands rely on, is to say that, well, we use a more refined ingredient list, so you don't have to worry about the extra ingredients that these brands are using for no good reason. And that's just a fear-based marketing approach to try to get people to feel like they're safer by using that product. Simply not true. All of these products are manufactured the same, they're processed the same, and they're packaged the same. So there isn't a wide or a concern or a huge concern that you're using something that is potentially dangerous for you. If it was dangerous for you, it wouldn't have made it to the marketplace in the first place. For estheticians, it's important for us to be honest about the purchases. Instead of just being hypercritical about something they bought online, sit down with them, research the ingredient list with them, and speak with them honestly about why you do or do not recommend these specific products in their routine at that particular place and time. Let's talk about a few key takeaways on our lesson today. Single ingredient skincare products are not any more advanced or special. If anything, they're substandard to what is already offered on the market. So make sure that you're well aware of the key ingredients that are used in the products that you're selling and recommending to your clients after a facial. And how do you know if the brand that you carry is quality? Well, make sure you ask the right questions. When you're attending a training webinar or you're going to a training for one of the brands that you're carrying in your spa, if the brand calls out an active ingredient as an active ingredient, ask what the percentage is that's being used. Make sure that they know that they should be disclosing that specific percentage so that you can do your own research to find out, hey, is that percentage of X active ingredient actually being used at an effective level in this formula? You would be surprised how many actives out there are called out as key active ingredients, but actually aren't used at an effective percentage. A very popular percentage quantity is 0.1%, and I've seen it many times on full quantitative ingredient lists on particular ingredients that aren't effective in less than 0.5%. There are a lot of ingredients out there on the market that are effective in less than 0.5%, but you need to do the independent research to make sure that that's actually accurate for that particular formula. Ultimately, we're looking to create a routine that works for our client's skin and their concerns. And whether they're using products that they purchased online or using products that they purchased out of my business, ultimately for success in their skincare goals, I just need to make sure I'm aware of every product they're using. And that's how I'm becoming an effective esthetician in treating my clients and guiding them the right way. I hope you took a little tidbit away from this lesson and learned a little bit to add to your repertoire and maybe how you recommend these products, or maybe how you deal with your clients when they have purchased some of these products in the night. So thank you so much for attending. Please go to my website, beautybyryan.com/spa-training to learn more about my future webinars and to look back at some of my previous ones. Thank you so much for joining, and I'll see you on the next education.